We're gonna have to change this background. I'm not really a fan of it. We're gonna have to change it. Are we live? No, you could say something, not just nod your head. I would appreciate that. Thank you. What's going on, everyone? My apologies. When you have a director, you would expect him to tell you when we're live or not. Unfortunately, he's quiet today. Anyways, it's Tuesday. It's November the 20th. You know what's going on. It's 3 rounds with Jay. We're talking some stuff. We're talking some fights. We're talking what happened over the past weekend with Bellator's event and the UFC event that took place. We're talking some other UFC events, one event, and the big fight that I spoke about on the last one. Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell. Oof, I can't wait for that one. And we've got a question from a fan that we're going to be addressing. So we've got all this. Before I get to that, I just want to say one thing. Can you smell that? I don't know if you smell that, but I smell that. I just can't put my finger on it. What could I be smelling? Oh, yes. For those of you who paid attention the previous week when I broke down the Bellator and UFC card, for those of you who took my predictions, congratulations, you made some money last week. Was I not correct when I said Nemkov, the dog against Phil Mr. Wonderful Davis? Did I not say that Nemkov was going to defeat Phil Davis? And was I not certain behind that? Was I not so sure that I told you that Nemkov will most definitely defeat Phil Davis? I did. And did I not say that Patrice Pitbull was going to defend his title against Emmanuel Sanchez? I did. Did I not also say that Ponzinibbio was going to defeat Neil Magny? I did. Did I also say that Darren Elkins was going to defeat Ricardo Lamas? Yeah, whatever. I got one wrong out of the 3 that I predicted, and one was a huge dog. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're not paying attention, if you have not been watching the previous ones, and then if you have, and you've just been like, man, his predictions are stupid, I want you to go back and I want you to look at these predictions. And then I want you to look at the results. And then I want you to comment and to let me know. And actually, don't even comment. Just send me a like, because I'll know that you knew that I was right all those times. And tonight, that will be no different. I will give you predictions, and these will come to fruition. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's head straight into round numero uno. Round 1. What do we got? We had a stacked week of fights. Hell, we had a Bellator event on Friday night, headline live from Tel Aviv, Israel, by Patrice Pitbull defending his featherweight championship against the #1 contender in Emmanuel Sanchez. This was another featherweight fight. This was another lower weight class fight featuring 145-pounders. And ladies and gentlemen, the last couple of events that we have had, whether it be Bellator or the UFC, they have been headlined, and one championship, they have been headlined by the lighter weight classes. The same lighter weight classes that the UFC is trying to abolish. And I'm talking about the 125-pound division. They're trying to get rid of that. That is the main reason as to why they pushed Demetrius Johnson over to one championship. That is the main reason as to why they are trying to book TJ Dillashaw versus Henry Cejudo for the UFC 125-pound title. For those of you thinking, well, they booked him for the title fight, that must mean they're not trying to abolish the title. No. The ultimate goal and the plan at this point is that TJ Dillashaw defeats Henry Cejudo, therefore making TJ Dillashaw a 2-division champion, therefore allowing TJ Dillashaw to merge the flyweight championship with the bantamweight championship, making it into one single division. They are trying to get rid of the 125-pound division. Don't kid yourself. Don't see this as a blessing in disguise that there is a title fight coming up. No. The plan is, the goal is, the ultimate idea is, whatever you want to spin it or not, be like, well, the UFC can't be thinking of it like this. They are. This is a business. At the ultimate end of the day, the goal is, like in professional wrestling, they have an outcome that they hope would come to fruition. They have an outcome that they hope will occur. And that is that TJ Dillashaw defeats Henry Cejudo, taking that belt, merging the division. Because you see, if Henry Cejudo wins this, and he wins that championship, and he retains that championship belt, it does nothing, because that division is gone regardless. That division is done with. That would ultimately just mean that Henry Cejudo now has the opportunity to challenge TJ Dillashaw for his championship belt, the 135-pound belt. Therefore, if he wins the 135-pound belt, he can now combine the championship. Regardless, it comes to the same situation. But back to what we were talking about. There was a Bellator event, Tel Aviv, live from Israel. Manuel Sanchez taking on Patricio Pitbull. What does that say for you? These events have been headlined by the lower weight classes, and these events have so far put on the best bouts possible. They have been putting on the most exciting fights there's been in the last couple of months in the UFC. And this has all started, and I hate to bring this up, but this truly ultimately all started with the Conor McGregor versus the Khabib fight. After that, there's just been a train of great matchups, great fights, and exciting for all the fans. For hardcore fans and general fans, this has been bringing new light and new attention to the sport, which is something that the sport has been dying for. Patricio Pitbull and Emmanuel Sanchez put on a 5-round clinic. Another one of these battles, another one of these five-round wars where it did look like at one point that Emmanuel Sanchez had this in the bag. He was going to defeat Patricio and he was going to take that belt home and he was going to finally achieve his dream of being the featherweight champion. Ultimately, 2 out of the 3 judges saw it differently than the way most fans did and the way even Emmanuel Sanchez did. They scored the round, they scored the fight for Patricio Pitbull. Split decision. He walks out the victor. It was a tough battle, but at the end of the day, what really solidified this for Patricio Pitbull was his wrestling and ground game. He was able to take Manuel Sanchez to the ground and neutralize him. Whenever Manuel was getting the best of the stand-up, he was able to take it to the ground and do what he does best, and that was hold him there because he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu and he was able to attempt multiple submission attempts. Ultimately, the judges saw this, and that is what got him the decision. It was a tremendous fight, one worth watching, one of Bellator's best so far that they've been putting on. So I applaud them for giving us this matchup, and I can't wait to see what they bring to us in the upcoming months. There's a card on November 30th that I'm excited to see, and one on December 1st, which is taking place in Italy, featuring Alessio Sakara. Always an exciting combatant, someone I'm always looking forward to watching. But this matchup is no different. Patricio Pitbull versus Manuel Sanchez. One worth checking out. One worth watching. If there's one matchup that I nailed fucking the hammer on the head on this one, it was the Phil Davis versus Nemkov fight. I told you from the very beginning that this was not going to be Phil Davis's regular fight. He was going to have a struggle. He was going to have to stand with him. And if he chose to stand with Nemkov, it was not going to be good for him. He lost 3 rounds, 3-round decision to Nemkov due to the simple fact that he thought his stand-up was better than Nemkov's. Nemkov takes the victory, takes a huge victory, and this is a step closer to him getting a light heavyweight championship fight. On Saturday night, we featured the UFC event for the first time ever in Argentina. It was the homecoming for Ponzinibbio, taking on Neil Magny. Ponzinibbio looked fantastic. His stand-up was incredible. He was in and out. He was avoiding all of Neil Magny's takedown attempts. Magny was not able to even get anything remotely close to enough offense going. The leg kicks played a big factor in stunting Neil Magny's movement. He was not able to get the power and the force behind it to generate a takedown attempt or to even generate enough power to land that one shot that could knock out Ponzinibbio. Instead, what ended up occurring was in the 5th and final round, Ponzinibbio landed a devastating strike that put Neil Magny onto the ground and finished the fight. In your co-main event, you had another one of these matchups, which was an exciting bout worth watching. Whenever Darren Elkins fights, he is the guy that you want to check out. Regardless of now he's on a 2-fight losing streak, it does not matter. He always comes to bring it a fight. And him and Ricardo Lamas did no different. They battled for 3 rounds, They battled for 3 rounds until he could no longer continue. Darren Elkins was finished. In the 3rd and final round, the leg kicks played an enormous factor. Another one of those fights that played enormous. 2 main events, the co-main and the main event, had leg kicks galore. And Darren Elkins just couldn't stand. He could not accept that pressure. What did Ricardo Lamas do on top of the leg kicks? He utilized his wrestling, which was the main thing I said he needed to do in order to win this fight. He was the faster of the 2. He used the wrestling, and he imposed an incredible technique in attacking the legs, which stunted all of Darren Elkins' offense. At the end of the day, Darren Elkins was unable to take the barrage and strikes that Ricardo Lamas applied towards him, so the referee stepped in and stopped the fight. That was round 1. Let's get to round 2. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to round 2. Let's kick things off. We are talking about one championship taking place on Friday, November the 23rd. It is one championship early in the morning. It is called Conquest of Champions. It is the returning Brandon Vera, who has not been seen for almost over a year, taking on former Cage Warriors champion Mauro Cirilli for the heavyweight championship of the world. Brandon Vera is back. Mauro Cirilli, the Cage Warriors champion, is stepping in to challenge for the biggest prize in the game, the one championship heavyweight title of the world. Who's going to walk out of here the champion? Who is going to leave these Manila fans excited? Who is going to leave them pumped and ready to go? I am truly picking Brandon Vera. Since coming to one championship, he has been unstoppable. This is not the same guy that you saw in the UFC. This is not the same guy who we were told 45 times, oh, he is back and he is ready to go. This is a new reinvigorated Brandon Vera, who has been on a tear since coming. He has applied his Muay Thai, something he is an expert at, a black belt at. That is something that he has been dominating every single one of his opponents with. Mauro Cirilli is going to have to come and try to stop Brandon Vera's barrage of Muay Thai. He's going to have to stop those knees. A lot of Brandon Vera's fights thus far has come to stoppage due to the fact that he's got the Thai clinch and landed those vicious knees in there. If he can avoid being clinched with Brandon Vera, this is going to make for an exciting matchup and one that can go on for as long as it takes until someone gets knocked out. I'm truly picking Brandon Vera. He seems like he's pumped. He seems like he's motivated. He's taking his time off. He's been training in the meantime. Mauro Cirilli has been making a name for himself in Cage Warriors. This is going to be his biggest test to date. He is fighting on one of the biggest stages in Asia. He's fighting in front of one of the largest crowds you will ever get. And I mean that. I truly mean that. UFC gets their 2.5 million viewers, but one championship gets that 25 million views. That is something unprecedented that no other organization in the game today is able to accomplish on free live television. Beside the Brandon Vera Mauro Cirilli fight, you have got yourself a co-main event for the vacant lightweight championship of the world. That is the one and unstoppable Edward Furlong, who is taking on Amir Khan. No, not the boxer. This is the mixed martial artist Amir Khan. This, my friends, it is going to be the fight of the year. I am telling you, this is another lightweight fight. This is actually a lightweight fight for the lightweight championship of the world. What have I been telling you? These lighter weight classes have been killing it. Edward Furlong is looking to capture another championship belt. This is a title that he has held in his grasp and is something that he is desperately needing to accomplish. Amir Khan has been on that long road. He has dozens and dozens of victories that he has been able to accumulate over the last couple of years. In the last 2 years, this guy has been unstoppable and he's been demanding a championship fight, and it is finally his chance to prove to the world that I should have gotten this a long, long time ago, and it's about goddamn time that I'm getting this championship fight. Who's winning this? Is it going to be Amir Khan or is it going to be Edward Furlong? Honestly, I'm picking the wild card on this one. I'm saying Amir Khan has got a lot more in the tank to offer Edward Furlong. Amir's been waiting. Amir is hungry, Amir is prepared, and he is ready to go. This is one championship, and this is taking place Friday, November 23rd. I am telling you not to miss this. The application is free. The one championship application, you can find it in the App Store, in the Google Play Store. Check this place, check this event out on Friday. If you're not doing anything, it's early in the morning, you can get that out of your way and you can go about your day. Let's move on. November the 24th, we have also got Tito Ortiz taking on Chuck Liddell, part number 3. This is a light heavyweight fight. This is the trilogy fight that no one asked for. This is the trilogy fight that is going to go down regardless by Golden Boy Promotions. What's changed between these two? Absolutely nothing. Tito Ortiz's offense is strictly wrestling. His stand-up has not truly improved that much. Chuck Liddell is an offensive fighter with some great takedown defense. He's been out of the game for quite some time. For what I truly believe at this point has almost been close to 7 years. Tito Ortiz has been the more active of the two. Will that play a factor? I do believe so. I'm not doing this because I'm a biased person and I am a huge Tito Ortiz fan, but I am saying this simply because due to Tito's activity, I do not think that Chuck Liddell is going to have the right offense to stop him. And the videos that I've seen leading up to this fight where Chuck has been sparring and doing some of the open workouts, it does not seem that he is at, well, let's face it, he's old, right? He's not going to be the old Chuck Liddell with the same speed and the same force. I'm picking at the end of the day Tito Ortiz to come out with the victory, to make it 2-1 series, and let's put an end to this fight. Let's put an end to this chapter. Let's put an end to this rivalry. Let's move on from this. Let's get these guys back to the retirement home, and let's move on with the newer generation of fighters, the hungrier and younger guys who are looking to make names for themselves and are looking to put on the performances that we want to watch. I'm not saying that these two are not going to put on a fantastic performance. I'm not saying these guys are not going to have an exciting fight, but we know what this is. This is striker versus grappler. Tito is going to try to grapple him and take him to the ground. Chuck is going to try and knock his head off for the third time in a row. Like I said, I do believe Tito is going to take him down, and he may actually sub him. I'm predicting a submission victory for Tito Ortiz against Chuck Liddell and their third in trilogy fight live on Golden Boy pay-per-view, first ever event. Let's see how this goes down. Also on Saturday night, we have a Saturday morning, at 6 a.m. we have got ourselves in another event taking place in Asia. It is the UFC. It is Curtis Blades taking on Francis Ngannou for the second time. First fight, Curtis Blades did not end up with the victory. He was defeated by Francis Ngannou, who went on to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. And since then, Ngannou's been trying to reclaim that glory. He's been trying to reclaim that knockout ability that he had since having lost to Daniel Cormier. Francis has struggled in his last couple of fights. He's not looked like that monster that we knew going into the fight. Maybe he just was a one-punch pony. He only had that one quick punch and that was it. Curtis Blades, he's been on the tear since having lost to Francis Ngannou. He's looking now to come in and he's looking to say, listen, that fight was a fluke. I deserve the next crack at the championship belt after Brock Lesnar. So this is what they're going to fight for. They're going to fight on Saturday morning, live at 6 a.m. Fight may take place about, we'll assume, 9 a.m. They will compete, and one of these two men will knock the other out. Who am I predicting? I think Francis is going to come to form. He just seems the bigger of the two and the more powerful. On this card also is Alistair Overeem taking on a relatively unknown to those who are outside of the hardcore fan base. I don't think Alistair Overeem is winning this fight. I simply think he's at the end of his career. This is just a fight that he's coming back to China. It's his first time in quite a while, to be honest. He's a former Pride guy. He's loved the Japanese culture. He's loved the Asian culture. He's a huge name over there. I don't think he's going to walk out here to victory. I'm predicting Alistair Overeem's opponent will walk out with the victor. And on top of that, I do believe, like I said in the main event, Francis Ngannou is going to walk out with the knockout victory. This won't go 5 rounds. Mark that down. Write that down. I promise you 5 rounds will not occur for this fight. Francis Ngannou will walk out the victory. That was round 2. Let's get to round 3.
That right hand flush. Oh man, this is madness. This is madness. Unbelievable. No.
I'm a little bit at a loss of breath right now. We've been speeding through this. There's a lot we got to discuss. So round 3, we're going to make this simple. I got a question actually. I don't know why I threw my phone now. A question I got over here on my Instagram account in my inbox from, who is this? The Real 191. Alright, The Real 191. The Real 191 asks me, do wins and losses matter in MMA? Very good question, The Real One. Do wins and losses matter in MMA? In general, yes, wins and losses do indeed matter when it comes to mixed martial arts. It's due to the simple fact that it matters in terms of how much revenue or how much you will get paid per fight. If you're the kind of individual who is, let's just say their record is 14-10, you're not going to make the same amount of money as someone who is 14-1 would make. Obviously, that makes the most logical sense. In terms of do wins and losses matter when you're talking about the UFC? It depends. Best example I'll give you, Mark Hunt. He walked into the UFC with probably a record of 7-7, we'll say. It was around that range. And since then, he has gone 14-11, or probably more than that. He has a better percentage than he did walking into the organization. It even reached a point where the UFC offered him money to stay at home and buy out his contract and told him he did not have to compete. We would give you the money that we owe you for the remainder of the fights on your contract. Instead, he went on and he competed, and it was the right decision. He made a ton of money with the UFC. He made a ton of money for the UFC. He went on to put on some of the most exciting fights the UFC has seen, and I'm even talking about that Bigfoot Silva fight, the first one. The second one was just as good, but this first one was the first ever 5-round heavyweight battle, and boy oh boy did they put on a show that you would not believe. So do wins and losses matter? They do in terms if you want to make a living in the sport. If you're solely looking on putting on exciting fights and generating a following, then no, it does not matter. But if you're looking to make it to the big leagues, whether it be Bellator, whether it be One Championship, whether it be the UFC, or even Pro Fight League in some instances, it matters to have a good record. Starting off in the bottom feeders such as Cage Warriors, the other one, Titan FC, etc., etc., it is worth making your name there. Even in TKO, the Canadian promotion, it is worth making a name for yourself and building up a track record. You don't want to walk in like a CM Punk with a 0-0 record and end up with a 0-2 record at the end of the day. You're not going to end up making that kind of money that CM Punk does. CM Punk made that money solely because he is a former WWE star, former wrestler, we'll say, who had that following. Since then, that following has died down since the people have been able to see past all of his BS. So does it matter? It does matter. It truly does matter. Unless you end up becoming a Darren Elkins style of fighter who goes out there, or a Diego Sanchez kind of fighter who goes out there and puts everything on his shield, you're not going to have really any longevity in your career. But these guys have been able to do this, to go out on their shield and put on these exciting matchups, regardless of whether they're winning and losing, and make good money because of the fact that they had a reputation built up beforehand. They had a large record. They were 14-1. They were some were undefeated. Some were walking in with maybe 1 or 2 losses at the time. So with that said, that they had these records, they were able to go on and put these exciting fights, to continue to fight, and to build on a following. So now when they're fighting and they end up losing, take a Diego Sanchez, for example, when he gets knocked out, he ends up getting knocked out in such spectacular fashion, in such an exciting matchup, that the fans still want to see him compete the next time. The organization still wants to put him on a card because they know he's going to come to deliver, regardless of win, lose, or draw. So that is something to take into account. But to answer the question once again that I've answered 7 times so far, wins and losses do indeed matter. If they matter in terms from not only the public eye, the perspective of an audience, the perspective of the viewer who sees a guy go in there and compete against an elite level guy who's 14-1, because it just seems like he's going in there to throw the fight. And that is the opposite of what any paying or any viewer wants to see, because we're staying up till 1 a.m. on the Eastern time, right? We're staying up late at night to watch these mixed martial arts fight. So we're expecting at least an exciting matchup or a good matchup between 2 elite level fighters, and not 2 guys that have these horrible records and they're just going to go out there and put on an exciting matchup. So yes, it matters at the end of the day. Records are very important, not just simply for the fighters and making their income, but also for the fans. With that being said, that was 3 rounds with Jay. We blew past this. I think we actually were on time with everything, with the 5-minute timer that I set for us. So once again, if you love what you saw, please like, please subscribe. All my other social media websites are all at the bottom. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, they're all down there. If you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing, what's coming next, with what I'm talking about amongst friends, family, and etc., please check that out. Follow, like, subscribe. I'm here every Tuesday. I'll be back on Friday with Jay at the movies. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a great week. I'll see you on Friday. Don't forget to check those picks out. I've been on a roll so far, so I've got something to brag about and pat myself on the back. With all of that said, ladies and gentlemen, keep on fighting. I'll see you Friday. Take it easy. Peace.